Today I'm going to give you a full tutorial on how to use Trading 212. This is a beginner's guide aimed at people that are new to investing that want an easy to follow, step-by-step process on how to get started. I'll show you how to set up the app, the different account types and the features of them, and we'll highlight the stocks and shares ISA, how to buy and sell investments, the pie feature, and also other little tips and tricks you want to know as a beginner. Let's just get this first question out of the way. Is the platform safe? Well, firstly, Trading 212 is registered and regulated here in the UK, which means when you use the app, it's authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. That gives you the peace of mind that your money is protected in two main ways. Any money that you deposit on Trading 212 is kept in a separate account, away from the brokers. That's good because if for some reason the company were to go bust, your money is held in a separate account, so you'll still have access to your cash. The second is that Trading 212 is also covered by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, which as of December the 1st last year now covers up to £120,000, although protection for assets still remains at £85,000. This is basically a last resort insurance just in case anything major happens to the broker. It's also worth pointing out that this does not cover any gains or losses from your actual investments. All investments carry risk and you should only invest what you're prepared to lose, and nothing in this video is financial advice. If you need any clarification, please speak to a professional. Setting up your account. When you create your account and sign in, you're presented with a screen that shows you 4 different account types. The first is a general invest account. This is where you can buy and sell funds and shares, but this account is taxable. What that means is any dividends or gains that you make can be taxed, depending on what your allowances are. The second is a CFD account, which I'm not going to get into in this video. This is a type of trade-ins account which, if I'm being perfectly honest, isn't beginner friendly. As a matter of fact, Trading 212 themselves have a disclaimer saying that most people that use this account lose money. I personally see this more akin to gambling as opposed to investing. The stocks and shares ISA account is practically the same as a general invest account, but the one key difference being that any gains you make within this account is completely tax-free. At the moment, you can deposit up to £20,000 per tax year into your stocks and shares ISA. Now, this is just my personal opinion, but anyone looking to invest should definitely start with the stocks and shares ISA. And only after maxing out their contributions should they even consider using a general invest account. And that's purely down to tax efficiency. The fourth is a cash ISA, which many of you have probably heard of. It's basically a cash savings account with the same tax wrapper as the stocks and shares ISA. And Trading 212 have conveniently provided one for those of you that want the security of cash savings. Just remember that the £20,000 a year allowance is shared between the cash ISA and the stocks and shares ISA, although Trading 212 make it really convenient in moving cash between the two accounts. After you've chosen your account, you're then prompted to go through a few steps to fully unlock all the features available. A lot of these are self-explanatory: confirm an address, national insurance. I think there's one of those awkward rotating face scans you need to do to confirm your ID. But there will be a few questions Trading 212 ask about your finances and your relationship towards investing. These questions are designed to make sure the right people are choosing to invest, so just answer them honestly as they come up. There is one important thing I want to mention. At one point during your setup, Trading 212 is going to ask you to sign a W-8BEN Form. I'll be honest, I had no idea what this was when I set up my account, but I'll quickly explain it for you. Basically, in America, if you receive a dividend, 30% of that is taken away at source through tax. However, if you live in a country that has a tax treaty with the US, that 30% is reduced to 15%. If you live here in the UK, we indeed have a tax treaty with the US. So signing the W-8BEN form is basically saying that you're entitled to that tax reduction. Depositing money. Once the setup's all complete, Trading 212 might throw a few pop-ups at you. Just close them all down for now. This is the exciting part, so let's get some actual money onto our account and then we can see what our options are. If you select manage funds or deposit funds, you're presented with a screen with a few different payment options. While you're free to deposit money as you wish, I highly recommend you using a bank transfer or instant transfer. These are very straightforward, just like how you move money between your bank accounts, and most importantly, it's free. If you deposit money using Apple or Google Pay, you pay a 0.7% fee after you deposit your first £2,000. There's literally no reason to pay this fee, so just use a bank transfer. Just a personal tip here, Trading 212 gives you this funny slider thing when depositing money. I just hit the keypad icon and input exactly how much I want. For the purposes of this tutorial, we'll go with £100. App functions. Now we have some money within our account, Let's just go through the app and see what some of these functions can do. First, pressing the top left Trade-In-212 logo takes us to a screen where we can select what account type we want to use. These are the 4 accounts that we discussed at the start of the video. The top right bell icon brings up notifications. This is just your account activity, and you can adjust this using the settings icon on the right. The bottom left home button brings up a summary page you can customize and tailor to you. If you swipe up, you'll see a few tabs you can scroll through. The My Watch list comes preset, but you can click on the company you're interested in and add this to the section by clicking the 3 dots on the right hand side and adding it to your watch list. The Pie button is your personal portfolio, and the search button is a little overwhelming at first, but it functions like any other search filter. The social button is split into 3 sections: your personal feed, the communities tab, and the Pie tab. I don't really engage with any of these functions, but the Pie tab will show you portfolios built by members of the community that you can actually copy. But just know that these can be created by any random person in the community, and the vast majority of them won't be fund managers or professional investors, so copy at your own risk. The 3 lines on the bottom right of the screen takes you to a page with a number of options. One of the first ones you should be made aware of is the Interest on Cash tab. Enabling this will allow you to earn interest on any non-invested cash held in your Stocks and Shares ISA account. Now, this can get a little confusing, but the non-invested cash in your Stocks and Shares ISA account is held in 2 ways: in a bank or in a qualifying money market fund. The main difference is that any money held within a bank is protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, and any money held in a qualifying money market fund is not. It sounds a bit confusing, but you can have a quick scroll within the app to see where your non-invested cash is being held. While the risk of this investment is extremely low, it's still a risk, and I want to make you aware of it. Managed funds is used to sort out your payment methods, and also how you withdraw money out of Trade-In-212 back into your linked bank account. There are some educational videos and other settings you can check out in your own time, but for now, let's focus on how to make an investment. Investing in an ETF. Once again, just a reminder that this is not investing advice. This is just a guide for demonstration purposes, and none of the investments I make in this video will be an indication of if it's a good investment or a bad investment. If we start by hitting the search button, you can see a search bar at the top of the screen. There are a number of tabs broken down into subcategories, and if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can pick between all stocks and ETFs. A really popular fund is the S&P 500, which is the top 500 businesses in America. If we wanted to find this fund, we can search for it using the search bar, or we can click on the ETF tab, and that will bring up another screen showing different ETFs for different categories. Again, this might not make much sense to beginners, but I actually have a video coming out breaking down exactly what these categories mean. If we click on equities and then benchmarks, you'll see the S&P 500 at the top, as it's one of the most popular funds. Click on the fund and it takes you to a screen with a graph in the middle. And as you scroll down, you'll see different bits of information relating to the fund. The most important thing to point out is if you click on the 3 dots on the top right hand side of the screen, you can select instrument details and then view a key information document about the fund. This has all the information about the fund given by the provider. Buying is really simple. You hit the big blue buy tab and it brings up an order screen. We're just going to use a market order for this demo, and all that means is that we're buying the fund at its current price. You can select if you want to buy via value or number of shares. I stick to value as I have a set budget. And you have that funny slider I mentioned earlier, but just click on the keypad icon and input the exact amount you want. Once that's set, press review order and a final summary screen will show up. You can see the order type, value, the shares, and commission or fees. Because we're buying in pounds, there are no fees. Once you send the order, it's complete. It will then appear in your portfolio. Investing in a stock. Okay, that's how you invest in an ETF. Now let's invest in an individual company. Let's go with Apple, as I'm sure most of us know who Apple are. Go through the exact same process as before, but when we review the order, you'll see that there's an FX fee. This is a 0.15% fee, and think of it like a conversion fee, as you can only hold British pounds in your Stocks and Shares ISA account. Selling investments. Selling your investments is just as simple as buying them. Press the sell button, decide how much you want to sell, and then form the order. Just remember that you incur an FX fee when you buy and sell an order, as you're converting money back into British pounds. Pies. The last thing we'll do is go over the pies feature. This is building your own personal investing portfolio. You can use pre-existing pies like we mentioned earlier, or you can build your own custom pies. Again, for the purposes of demonstration, I'm just going to use the first few companies on the search page. Once we get to this screen, we need to allocate our percentages. Just remember that everything needs to total 100%. We won't set up auto investment at this point, so just click manual. You can then name your pie. We'll just call this one demo. Click create pie, and that's it. Simple as that. To fund the pie, click on the icon and then invest. There's an extra option here that I'll briefly go over. As time goes on, the slices or sections of your pie will increase or decrease in value, and they might not represent the initial distribution that you set up when making your pie. Using the self-balancing option, Trading 212 will allocate the funds added to try and keep the original percentage distribution that you set up. Buy targets ignore those changes in value and distribute added funds as you originally set out. Or you can set a custom allocation. Submit and confirm the order, and you should see a progress bar at the top of the screen. Once the orders have gone through, you can click on holdings and see the allocations held within the pie. And there you have it, guys. A nice, simple, step-by-step tutorial on how to get started on Trading 212. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more personal finance content. Hopefully, this is the first step in securing that financial future that we all long for. I'll catch you in the next one, guys.